Hello, Taurus, and welcome back to your extended. So, there's a couple things that I've noticed in the the short amount of time that it takes me to pull the cards. Um, is that we just added this brand new deck, and a couple of the new cards have come out. Once, excuse me, one set of the new cards is this it's coming through as like a true match or a perfect pair, is this, right? So that's beautiful that it's kind what it's telling me is that although you are concerned about whether or not all of the newness that's coming into your life is it a reflection of past cycles, what this is kind of telling me is that it's because it is presenting itself as the new Lunatera. Well, it could be one or two. It could be just talking about that it's new, but I have a feeling that it's talking about it like this is not a reflection of your past or the past cycles that you found yourself on. And especially with the Fool card that's coming out with the new Lunatera that I've added, it's saying like the same thing, like you're moving in a completely new direction. So you know it's understandable that you are concerned because this this state right here, this hangman, it's it's a very enlightened, you're not, what it's talking about is like you're an enlightened being. So it's kind of that's funny. It's kind of coming through as like you should know better. You should know better. You should be able to see all the signs and know better to not put yourself in situations that you've been through before because, well, kind of what it's talking about is like all of the lessons or the energy that was in those cycles, like it's been exhausted. So there's nothing else left to learn from them. So it would kind of be a waste of time. That's what it is. It would be a waste of time to enter in those cycles that you've already been through before because you know what I mean? That's how it is. And the fast this is really fascinating. The thing that I'm noticing here is that you might actually be, if you're finding yourself in those same cycles, you're probably getting like the other side perspective. We were talking about how in the judgment card, it's like the devil is looking like this is the devil's perspective. That's interesting. It's like the devil's perspective is the judgment, but then this temperance perspective, well, the temperance, their eyes are closed. That's fascinating. You see, can you see up here? Their eyes are closed. Their eyes are closed here. That's telling me that this is their perspective is more of, it's less visual, it's more feeling. I don't know where that's going. I um, it's kind of talking about knowing, like a feeling that you have. There's a knowing that you have when you're presented with all of this newness. It's like you're gonna have a knowing within you that this is not a reflection of the old cycles, that this is in fact something new. There's something that's okay. Let's just go on with the reading and then we'll figure it out. All right, so we are starting your reading off today with the star. Such beautiful energy. It's okay. This is coming through. So this temperance energy and the character in the judgment, you know, the one in the sky. This energy here is they're going to dawn, it's wanting, they're going to dawn your perspective. I was going to say it's wanting me to dawn your perspective. So they're wanting to dawn your perspective with some type of, it's coming through as a form of communication, especially with the Eight of Wands. I mean, it's coming in with some type of messaging. So this temperance energy is working to send you a message. And that message is coming to you in the form of the Page of Pentacles. So this is you with that pentacle. And the pentacle talks about, the pentacle in this Page of Pentacles, it's talking about studying something, learning something. Well, in this case, because it is a Luna, studying something brand new that you've never seen before. Studying something brand new that you've never seen before. It's almost like it's like a nugget of information. A nugget of information that's going to help you understand the newness, the newness of this connection. Okay, this is interesting. I was talking about it being this temperance energy. It's kind of coming through because, okay, hang on. You see how they're kind of like sitting in a very similar position. It's like, I often see the star as large. She's like larger than life. She's much larger than the earth plane. It's almost like she's a giant. And you here are, you know, of course, like the earth beings. And I'm starting to get like a slight tension headache. Hang on a second. Because that's kind of like a sign for me that receiving a download. It's like, okay, hang on. This is like your higher self because you're sitting in the same position. This is like your higher self. So your higher self is coming in to relay a message to you, like a download or something like that. Um, that's gonna give you the information, right. You know, it's gonna give you an information that this connection with the Six of Pentacles being presented here, this connection is well, it's balanced. Hang on one second. Okay, so sorry about that interruption. Where was I at? So I was talking about how it's like you're gonna receive a download or a nugget, some form of information that is going to tell you, or it's going to assure you that this new connection that's coming in for you is it's very well matched. It's well matched, it's well balanced too, because we have, not only is it in the same suit, but it's the masculine and the feminine. So it's incredibly well balanced, well matched, and it's almost like you were matched. That's what's coming through with this. It's like the two of you have been matched, like brought together. Matched kind of gives me a, well, you know what? We have the lovers here. We have the lovers at the end of the reading. So it's talking about how this is so fascinating. Look at this. You don't know it yet because this there's a cloak. It's almost like there's a cloaked. You see this figure here standing. There is a cloaked figure that matched you. It's coming through as an angelic. You see these positions. Look at this position. Very similar. I mean, it's okay. So okay, hang on a second. So you remember how I was talking about how in this position you're trying to come up out of these cycles, right? And you're stretching so far up, trying to get up to that temperance energy, to where you are free of attachment. You're free of attachment. But then we kind of got into where actually you will still be attached. You'll be attached, but you'll be attached to the earth plane. It's an attachment that, not, basically what I'm trying to say is that not all attachments are like toxic or negative. There are some attachments like this, being attached to the earth plane, that keep you, well, grounded, steady, in place. It provides, security, that type of thing. um where was I going with that? Oh, here we go. So because you because it's almost like like you could stretch all the way up, you know what I mean, to the temperance energy. I'm just using these directional verbiage because it's the easiest way for our human minds to understand this. um you can stretch and get to the temperance energy, but it's like you can never really quite, can't experience it in its fullness, because there is an attachment, right? It's a good attachment. You're attached to the earth, but you can't necessarily experience it in its fullness. So it's like this temperance energy has come to you. It's come to you, and I guess whoever this other is, come to you and this other, and has brought you both together. It's brought you both together in a, well, it's kind of like a divine match. It's a divine pairing. So you're fine. So it's kind of like, that's so fascinating. It's like that the angels have brought you together. They've matched you. It's making me think of um like dating apps or something like that. That's funny because this actually kind of looks like a phone now. You see him holding this phone. So this is great. The star energy. Look at all these messages coming through the phone. And see? And it's like, this is the star energy typing away. You see what I'm saying? That's cute. Okay. So okay, so that's kind of like one part of these nuggets of information that you're getting that are assuring you that this is a well match. This is not a cycle that you've been in before. This is, well, it's this It's the lover's energy. It's the lover's energy. It's, oh my God, look, there he is. Look, there you are. Oh my God. Okay, hang on. There you are with your red pants and, in the lover's energy. You see, this is him. And then, with the star. Oh, this is cute. The star. And then there she is there. This is beautiful. So it's confirming to me that this new relationship that you're in, that you're exploring or experiencing, it's for you. It's literally matched for you by a heavenly source, not by the devil, not as a lesson or, something that you need to like see the other side of. Makes me think of karma. Like, um, okay, here we go. Let me dawn your perspective. This is how I know if, well, not that I know, but like this is how I've kind of seen it play out, especially in relationships. So I look at people's ages, and I look at the differences like in our years together. So for instance, like having someone who is like 6 years older than you, right? And then you figured out that cycle that you were in with them, is one. It's one of these. It's one that in which you're going to learn a lot of the lessons, right? So you have one perspective of it, of course. And then you find yourself a couple years later with someone who is like 6 years younger than you. So it's like you're like flipping perspectives. So in the first scenario, you were the one that was the younger one, right? And in the second scenario, it's like you're the one that is the older one. So it's like you're getting two perspectives. You're getting both perspectives, and that's kind of like what this was talking about, like getting the understanding the entire cycle itself because you got both perspectives. Yeah? Okay. So that's how I see it, and it's happened multiple times. Like with the age difference thing. It's happened in that scenario. It's happened in another scenario. It's so basically you're going to see a pattern. There's a pattern because this talks about patterns. This is a pattern. You're going to see a pattern, and that pattern is going to tell you whether or not this is a repeated cycle, because you don't necessarily need, hang on, I'm being corrected. I feel this is me speaking. I feel like you don't necessarily need to understand like that other side, that other perspective, but we do have the hangman that's coming up here. So I'm being a little corrected that you kind of do need to see that perspective in order to fully understand the situation. And kind of like the part that you played, the part that the other played in both of your development. Um, but in certain things, if you are um, very self-aware, evolved, that type of thing, you can kind of fill in, you can understand how your role in that cycle. You don't necessarily need to actually see it from the other person's perspective. You can kind of, well, you can use empathy, right, to like see it from their point of view, and then use that information to, I guess, correct your own behavior. Or I don't know, that you understand what I mean. So perhaps for you, maybe a clue, a clue that this is actually a different relationship is that you're not going to see that same pattern being presented in this connection. You're not going to see that pattern. And that's going to let you know that this is actually a lover's energy and not this devil energy. Ooh, this is great because in the devil energy, these two figures down here, they're the lovers. They're the lovers. They're the ones that are like, well, they're trapped. And in the lovers card, they're free of that attachment. They're free of the, I don't know, like toxic cycles. So perhaps maybe in a sense that you did actually see all sides of the perspectives and all of that stuff in these previous cycles, you know what I mean? And so now you've come to a point where, well, it's time for you to experience something new. It's time, and the temperance energy comes with divine timing, a message of divine timing. So it's been divinely orchestrated. It is divine time that this connection come in for you. And it is completely like, it's so understandable that you would want to be discerning as to whether or not this cycle that you're going to be going in, that you're just kind of taking a pause at in the beginning just to make sure that this is, legit, I guess. um it is very understandable that you're doing that. And my own opinion, I feel like it's a sign of, well, you're not a fool anymore and you won't be fooled, you know? So it's kind of like that. So you're not going to, so the patterns that you saw in these previous relationships that you had, you're not going to see them in this new connection. And that the absence, so that might help to reframe your focus instead of focusing on kind of like finding, you know what I mean, like this cyclical energy. um Not that you shouldn't be looking for it, but no, more in a sense of noticing the absence of it is going to help to um bring this in for you. Noticing the absence of the pattern is going to assure you that this is, it's really beautiful. It's like the connection itself is bookended by this lovers and the star energy. So you'll find that this is a very healing, it's a very healing connection. And also there's a heightened sense of vulnerability with this connection as well. Because I'm thinking about like you you opening up. That's kind of like there's like that challenge. That's interesting because we were talking about things that, in those former cycles, the things that you had to learn, like the challenges. Okay, so there's kind of like a difference here. There's a difference between lesson and maybe like challenges. Like it would be a challenge in this new connection, a challenge for your vulnerability, your openness, the loving, and and these are all really good energies, really wonderful energies to be in. But it might be challenging for you to be in them because you're so used to these this devil energy. It's kind of like having a really good relationship after a string of toxic ones. And so it's that first one that you get into, after that string of them, that presents a challenge for you, because it's like now you're learning that it's almost like you're having to learn that it's safe. You're having to learn that it's safe for you to open up, for you to express yourself, for you to just be. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's interesting because it seems like whatever message that you got here, like a could be like a download, or some type of form of communication. It's like you're sharing it. You might be sharing it with this other, with the other one. We had the king and the queen of pentacles here. So you might be sharing. I'm seeing you sharing it with them because it's like it's in here, it's in your hands, and then this angelic is having you share it, sharing, sharing what you know with this other. What are we sharing? Well, I feel like you're sharing your enlightened perspective. You have an enlightened perspective that you're sharing with them. Or, yeah. Maybe that's who this is coming from. I know it was coming for your higher self. It's almost like it's coming to you, and then you're going to share it with them. It's coming to you, and that's what this is. Hang on. That's what this is here with this three of coins, three of pentacles. I mean, it's like that download is coming to you, and then you're sharing it. You're sharing it with the others. And that might, it actually might even help them. Because they are being presented as your match, your pair. You're very like reflective of each other. So they might actually be going through a very similar process to you, like trying to discern whether or not this is good for them. And it's like once you get that information and you share it with them, it's like everything's like groovy. And we're in the lovers energy now. It's very beautiful. All right, Taurus, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for allowing me to read your energies. And I'll see you next time. Bye.